Happy Catterday, everyone. Welcome back. It is time for a Pounds for Purrs workout, and we are witnessing Friday's workout. So I did this yesterday and just getting to the voiceover today. I started things off with a half mile on the elliptical, which took 4.5 minutes, although I was tempted to go to the stair climber, and one of these days I very well might use the stair climber as the warm-up, just to throw it into rotation, add a little bit of variety. Plus I really do like the stair climber, so it will most likely be on an upper body day rather than a lower one, but who knows? Alrighty, so went to the dip station afterwards and did a little bit of a longer warm-up. Maybe just because of the weather, it's just a little colder these days. So I did a set of 10 with body weight, and then a set of 6 with 25 pounds. And then from there, I went to the 10x4 for working sets, 90 seconds of rest in between. And speaking of rest times, I forgot my watch at home, so I had to pay attention to either of the atomic clocks at the gym. So we have one on each side of the weight room. Thankfully it does count seconds, so I'm able to pay attention as closely as possible to keep to the 90 seconds, give or take 5 or seconds in either direction. So it wasn't too bad. It was just a minor inconvenience, but I made it work. Now in terms of the video, you might be noticing that I am showing the deloading of the dip belt. And that's on purpose. I don't think I've ever shown it before, and this belt is so easy to use. So for anyone interested in using a dip belt, purchasing one, I think it is a very worthy investment to make, and they're not that expensive. I particularly like the one that I have, and I have a video review of it on the channel, which I believe I did last year. So if you're interested in the specific model that I have and the company, feel free to watch that video. It's a Dark Iron Fitness dip belt that I love using for dips, for chin-ups, for pull-ups. It's a really great piece of equipment. Didn't cost a lot of money, and I think it's gotten not only its usage for the money spent, but even more so. And I just recommend it. I love the weighted dip. I highly recommend it as an exercise that you use overload with, but even just body weight, you still have a lot of great benefits. Now for the sets themselves, very comfortable. We're still talking just 50 pounds, so this is honestly pretty light for me in terms of how much I'm used to using for dips, and especially if I'm using it as a primary mover. Whereas now it's just mostly the volume that kicks in. So the weight, not that bad at all. It's very, very manageable. And it's just a matter of just getting the volume in and staying on pace. So good day for dips. And for the accessory, I went to the close grip bench press. And basically what I did was a set of 8 with 135 for the warm up. And then I went to 185, very much like last time. But I stayed at 185 just because when I went to 195 it started to get a bit difficult, a little bit more than I wanted it to be, at least for now. So instead of doing progressive sets at all, I just stuck with 185 for the 3x8, which believe me was plenty. It was comfortable. It even got just a tiny bit challenging towards the end, but I just wanted to just basically double check technique, and I went a little bit closer on the grip width. So I think that might be the way that I'll do it from here on out, which actually interestingly enough is the way I used to grip the bar for that exercise. And the last time I did close grip bench, I went a little bit wider. So reverse grip rows are next, and for this one I did an initial set of 10 with 135 for the warm-up, but I didn't do a ramping set after that and went directly to working sets. So it's 195 again, 10x4, as close to 90 seconds of rest as possible. So you'll see me looking at the atomic clock just to kind of mark where I'm at, and then that way I can check the time and make sure that I'm just as close as possible. So rows, comfortable. It's 195. We're not talking heavy rows here, especially for the reverse grip. I'm accustomed to going much heavier, but very much like the dip, it's about getting the volume in and keeping the pace. So very comfortable. good back position. I'm not really having to put a whole lot of effort into these just because it is a relatively lightweight, and I'm able to just concentrate on just getting everything done and keeping consistent. So for the accessory, I went to what's called a perfect curl, and I'll get more into detail with an upcoming accessory video. And by the way, I will apologize, I haven't put one out yet, but I will. I had to decide how many days I wanted to include for each accessory video, and I'll get to that. I'll probably do that either later today or tomorrow, but I'll talk about the curl when I do that. So it's a very interesting version of a barbell curl where you get a stretch, so there's a little bit of a bend back, and then you go into a peak contraction, so there's a little bit of a bend forward, and that'll make sense when I explain it. But basically I did a 3x8 with just the bar, and that was enough. Alright, y'all, remember, adopt, don't chop.